As someone who consistently got ready in a state of fight or flight for probably over the first 2 decades of her life, because I would literally wake up super early in the morning to do assignments and then also get ready and leave myself like 10 minutes to do my entire morning routine. So it's just this massive fluster. Even for like sports, when I was doing like track and field in college, like I would walk into the locker room 5 minutes before practice. Those magicians who can change instantly, like through magic or whatever? Like, I feel like them. Like, if you've ever seen me get ready, that's how I get ready. Please do not underestimate the power of taking your time, especially in the morning. And people are like glorifying, and have been for a while now, like the idea of productivity and having a 5 to 9 and getting so many things done in the morning, which weirdly enough, I actually think that kind of schedule would really suit me, because my brain is most like gorgeous and seamless, like first thing in the morning when it's like ultra quiet, no one's around. So it's just like very limited distraction around in the home and in general. So yes, like there's nothing wrong with that kind of routine. But even if it's to get up 30 minutes earlier than you usually do, even 10 minutes earlier than you usually do, and intentionally say like, I'm going to lie down and think about and visualize what I want for my day. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to speak joy and positivity into my life. I'm going to talk about the things that I want to go well today as if they've already happened. There's so many studies on how powerful that exercise of visualization and gratitude can be for your mental health, because you're really setting the tone for your day. And doing this at night is great too, but especially doing this in the morning, it's incredible. And so not even from like a studies perspective, I just wanted to speak to how powerful I found it to be in my own life. Because aside from like all of the good, like it shows you that you have ownership of your time and that you can create your time and that you can set the pace. I'm someone who like, time is a very loose concept for me in general. Like I have huge time blindness and all of that stuff, but I can literally get sucked into a moment. And my mom sent me this TikTok yesterday about how like ADHD people are basically destined to be millionaires, because this girl on a podcast was saying how like they can collapse the time between idea and execution if they're in like a hyperfixation state, or like if they're super obsessed about something they're excited about, they can collapse that time into zero. And I have seen that happen all throughout my life, where like I go from needing to do something and that thing being done when I feel motivated to do it. I can do that in ridiculous amounts of time. So I see all the time how like time plays tricks on people, and like time just like is not a constant in my personal experience. But separately from that, it's like when you wake up and you start rushing around everywhere and you're rushing to the next thing and you don't give yourself any time, I feel like pausing and saying, no, I deserve 5 minutes. It can wait 5 minutes. And even just 1 minute, like that's my goal of the day nowadays too, is to make my habits achievable and digestible. So then it's like, instead of saying I'm going to meditate or I'm going to do this whole very like thoughtful mindfulness thing or exercise, it's like, no, I just want to take 1 minute like a day. And if I take that 1 minute a day, then like I'm happy with that. Right. But in the morning, when you carve out that little space to say like, no, I'm not immediately going to rush, even if you end up doing this for 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then immediately jumping up and getting into the groove of things, you're now doing it in alignment with all the things that you've kind of spoken into your day. So it's like, instead of it being framed as like you jumped out of bed, you're like in a dysregulated state, you're rushing around trying to get things done, and the day is happening to you, it starts to feel like the day is reacting to your intention because you took out the time to articulate and carve out that intention, right? Either through affirmations, journaling, being grateful, whatever it is that you decide to do. I have a whole like mindfulness menu. Maybe at some point as I'm talking, I'll like pull it up on my Google Doc and run you through some ideas. But you took some time to literally ground yourself for the day, right? So not everyone is a morning person. And I think also sometimes when you get excited and build out full routines, they don't always stick. And that's why I'm saying, you know, even if the whole 5 to 9, I'm going to wake up ultra early, I'm going to be a machine in the morning, if that doesn't resonate with you, literally wake up a bit earlier and reclaim that time to do something you intentionally enjoy. And it doesn't all have to be just woo-woo practice. It can literally be like, I'm going to watch a TV show. Like I've seen people on TikTok talking about how like they wake up early in the morning, like an hour early or whatever it is, and they literally like make their beverage for the day or whatever, and they sit down and they watch their favorite show because they want to start the day putting in some joy and like putting in something that they really enjoy before they get into the work of the day, and like kind of priming yourself to say like, I deserve to enjoy my life. Like not everything has to be about optimization. Like you want to be a happy person, right? Like I think that's most people's goal, even if like the actual actions they take to get there might manifest as looking for money or looking for opportunity or looking for relationships or looking for connection or looking for good hobbies. Ultimately, I think everyone is like, how can I have like a sustained feeling of like contentment in my life? And I think having that morning time to say, no, I am going to enjoy myself at least a little bit. And I also think it kind of claims back like I do this thing a lot too, where I stay up later at night than I should because I'm almost like, it's like revenge claiming back your time. There's like a term for it, but it's like when you feel like your whole day isn't your own, like the nighttime feels like this open-ended slate to kind of do what you want to do, even if that's kind of nothing or scrolling or whatever you end up doing. Or sometimes for me, I have like a random idea and I'm like, I'm going to publish my book, which we'll talk about at the end of this episode. But yeah, and I think having something you look forward to doing in the morning, if it's watching a show, if it's a drink you like making every single morning, if it's a coffee shop you're going to stop at, and if you can afford it, that whole thing of like, oh my God, the youths, they can't afford the price of living because they spend too much on Starbucks, like, or they spend too much on coffee, like, girl, like, first of all, what are you saving the money for, guys? We don't get buried with the money, so that's one. So, secondly, like, I don't think the $6 coffee she's having every day or whatever is the reason why people are having, like, legitimate financial difficulties. At that point, you're even comparing, like, the socioeconomic status of two totally different groups, because someone that's buying coffee every single day is not the same person in dire straits about the cost of living. I doubt that. So you're giving anyways, let me not go on a complete tangent because I know I get excited sometimes and I get inspired to make these episodes in the morning, and I do have stuff I want to do this morning, but I just wanted to leave this message with you, right? Like, you deserve to set the pace of your day. I couldn't speak highly of it enough. And especially on a day where you're overwhelmed and you feel like you have 60 things to do, like a day like for me today, I have a ton of meetings and pitches and talks with leadership and talking to clients, and it's all exciting. And the reason I can tell you, it's all exciting, is because this morning I said, no, I'm framing this as exciting because this is what I've wanted, right? I wanted our business to really pick up, and I wanted us to have all this opportunity flowing in, and I'm being intentional about that. And this is the fruits of my labor in those ways. So why would I then say that it's a punishment, right? And I'm, lucky to do something I genuinely love and enjoy. But last night, as you're going to sleep and the clock is ticking a bit and you're like, oh my gosh, I hope I fall asleep soon. I have to be up early, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could have so easily woken up this morning and just have been rushing from place to place, or woken up and been like scared of like, oh my gosh, usually like I struggle with like snoozing alarms and stuff and then rushing at the last minute. But I set the intention last night that no, I'm going to try to wake up earlier than I usually do and start the day right. And because I was successful in that, I feel so much more regulated. Ultimately, even waking up earlier, I'm sure I'll still have the same amount of time to put into everything else I have on my plate for the day. But because I set the tone yesterday and I set the tone this morning, I got ready and I did my rituals and I put my blush on and whatever. It's so funny. I take way more time to do my makeup, and I put on so much less makeup now. I remember when I used to wear full faces of makeup all the time. People would always be like, oh my God, that must take you so long in the morning. And I'm like, you have no idea how quickly I can put on a full beat. I can do a full, I used to do full Halloween looks on people in college when I used to do makeup for clients. I would do a full Halloween look, design, art, everything in under an hour. So like, and that's on someone else's face, which is harder than doing makeup on your own face. So imagine how long you think it takes me to do my everyday beat. Like, girl, this is a 10-minute exercise, even though I'm like cake-faced, right? So, but now, because I don't want to rush the experience of putting my makeup on, because I love doing makeup. I think it's such a beautiful thing to do. So even though I wear way less of it, I just love the ritual of taking my time to do it and putting on my skin products, because I don't have any base products, and putting on my blush and doing my lip combo. So getting to savor each moment is so special and such a gift. And I encourage you to find something you want to savor. It can be whatever you want. It can be the shower that you take, the beverage you drink in the morning. It can be the beauty rituals. It can be dressing up in a way that's comfortable and makes you feel confident. It can be picking out a show and sitting on the couch and watching it, or lying in bed and watching it. It can be journaling. It can be audio journaling and talking to yourself. And it can be speaking to the water you use to shower, speaking to the drink you're about to drink, and pouring love and good intentions into it, and pouring that back into yourself as you drink it. That's what I did this morning, and I'm like, life-changing spiritual practice. But yes, so that's my encouragement for you today. And I'm going to quickly flip to my mindfulness menu, because I think it might be helpful to people. I'm literally pulling it up as we speak. So some of the things I have on my menu of things I can do to be mindful is walking in grass. This is an ambitious one that I really don't do, because I don't always want to go downstairs or like leave my house or whatever. But if that's an easy thing for you to just step outside, or if you're someone that has a dog and you walk your dogs in the morning, whatever it is, like having your feet in grass and walking in grass barefoot for a few minutes, slay, very grounding to the earth. Doing some robotic affirmations. So for people that now it comes to me very easily to speak kindly about myself and speak love and good intentions into my life, because I have made that a habit for many, many years now. And I'm also and that's helped me not struggle with clinical depression, but I'm also not actively struggling with clinical depression, right? So, but if you're someone who you want to think better things in your head, but you struggle with your thoughts going to a dark place, you don't have to believe the things you say to yourself, by the way. Actually, if you're someone that doesn't believe good things about yourself, or the things you say that are positive, you don't believe them, that's exactly what you should be saying all the time. Because I promise you, by saying it all the time, thinking it all the time, in the back of your head is on a loop, that actually will start to change your outlook. Even the act of, and I talk about this all the time, music, not listening to sad music, because those lyrics it's almost like entering your psyche. I take that so seriously. The number of people who are Megan Thee Stallion is life-changing for me. And I know people love to belittle the impact of Black women, especially in a field like rap music. But the power of listening to someone just step on the beat, have high energy music, and speak life into themselves and be I'm literally that bitch, part of my French, that is very powerful. And as you're singing the lyrics, yes, you're thinking Megan Thee Stallion is that bitch, but you're also kind of thinking it for yourself, right? So even if you started off listening to their music and you would think, oh, well, Beyonce, she speaks life into Black women or herself, but she's confident because she's Beyonce. If you sing Beyonce long enough, you'll learn to love yourself too. Megan Thee Stallion, you'll learn to love yourself too. All these other Black female rappers. I really encourage it if you like music like that. But even other musical genres that you enjoy that have powerful lyrics, are upbeat, right? So sometimes, even if the lyrics of a song are powerful and beautiful, if the music is too, to be very is too low vibrational, I'm low-key not gonna listen to that. I'm so sorry. And I also don't listen to music I associate with dark times of my life, because you're taking yourself back, and you don't want to take yourself back and plunge yourself into a pool of darkness by force. Why are you putting yourself in an ice bath? That's what it feels like to me to listen to music that's low vibrational, listen to lyrics that's low vibrational, or listen to things that remind me of dark things. Why are we reminiscing on things that make us sad, or living in the present as if something bad is happening to us? Because when I listen to SZA, I'm immediately miserable. I'm so sorry, babe, I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to bird music. No shade to SZA, not all of her music is bird music, and she is her music is really ultra beautiful. I'm not listening to SZA. Even when I was peak depression and I did used to listen to really nice music that wasn't as upbeat as the stuff I like force myself to listen to now. Those songs that weren't even negative, I don't listen to anymore because they're too associated with that time. But even back then, I knew not to listen to SZA. Like, that's dangerous. So you have to know your triggers of, like, that song is a song I put on when I feel horrible. Stop listening to it. Sorry. Like, you can't eat your cake and have it too. You can't listen to things like that, like, yes, because people love to, like, glorify the power of sad things. Like, I remember my ex-boyfriend was really big on this belief at the time when we were in high school and stuff, that, like, the most beautiful kinds of writing were sad, and that you couldn't write things that were happy, which I fundamentally did not agree with back then, even though I wasn't someone that was big into, like, poetry and the kinds of reading he was doing. Like, this idea that you could only be deep and powerful if you were talking about something devastating, I just did not like it. But I get it. Like, it can be cathartic to watch something or engage with something that is very emotional, but you don't have to make that emotion sad. And it's not a habit or hobby you should have, because it will keep you sad all the time, because you've now actually associated this meaning and meaning making with profound sadness. So why would you want to make that association? Like, no, my meaning making is by smiling and connecting with people and laughing my head off with friends, or lying in bed and laughing at myself. Like, those are my moments of meaning making. And so I only want to associate meaning making with, like, profound joy, right? So you can't have your cake and eat it too and say, well, this is such a beautiful piece of art, I'm going to keep engaging with it, knowing that the beautiful piece of art makes me leave with a sensation of sadness. Like, you can do it if you want, but that's the trade-off. You will be sad because that's the goal, and you'll keep teaching yourself that. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to cut that off. There are so many beautiful albums I listened to during college that I can listen to on a blue moon, but, like, really I'm probably not going to, because it's like, I know it'll make me feel even some twinge of a type of way. Like, I'm so past that stuff now, but because it has the risk of making me feel some twinge of a type of way, you have to be more protective of yourself, right? So yeah, robotic affirmations are more so you saying and repeating something over and over and over and over and over again until you believe it. And this is what first got me into affirmations. Not that I knew the full phrase of robotic affirmations, but back when I didn't used to feel beautiful in, like, 2020, I believe, that's when I started the practice of affirmations, because I was, like, depressed and, like, really insecure, or not insecure, actually. I didn't act as an insecure person. Everyone knew me as super confident, which I actually was. I didn't realize those things go hand in hand. I was a super confident person and still am, but I had insecurities that made me just deeply believe I wasn't a beautiful person. And so I just kept affirming until I believed that. And I kept being nice to myself until it wouldn't make me cry anymore, because at first it was so foreign for me to hear nice thoughts in my own head from myself, about myself. So robotic affirmations, if you would say something nice and it wouldn't resonate with you, keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it. And I promise you'll wake up one day and it'll click so hard, you'll never even go back on it again. Like, when it clicked for me after, like, a month of doing affirmations related to my looks, even now to this day, like 6 years later, I can look insane. And I'm like, I'm literally the baddest bitch to walk this earth. I can gain 100 pounds. Like, not obviously being fat does not make you ugly, but, like, you know, to other people's eyes, I can look like I fell off. And I've been there before where, like, I was on these medications. They're making me, like, balloon. I gained all of this weight. I would dress like a slob everywhere. I would go downstairs looking crazy, hair looking crazy. My mom would be like, oh my God, Abby, please just put in some effort. And I just did not give a fuck because like, my affirmations from this 6 years ago or whatever that I did, like, they were so ingrained in my head that I was like, there's nothing that can make me ugly. So, like, I look great right now. I really don't care what anyone else thinks. So they're very effective, I promise you. And it doesn't have to be about beauty. It can be about anything, right? Scripting. So scripting, I think, or, like, future self achievements in past tense, journaling. So, like, scripting out loud or writing it down or whatever process, but you kind of want to, like, outline what your day will go like. So that's what I did today. I kind of did scripting to my beverage and, like, was speaking about my day as if everything had already happened, and just was trying to feel that feeling of gratitude towards the impact of these events already transpiring very positively. And that's what scripting is. It's like, oh, I did this and then I did this and it went so well and I'm so grateful. And it's like, you don't have to, again, we say this delay your joy and tie it to a milestone, right? You can feel that joy now, especially when you just pretend, because your mind is so powerful and it won't know the difference between this already happened and this is about to happen. Like, time isn't really real in your head, right? So you can do that scripting and really feel the feelings of your future self and your day going wonderfully. And visualizing is another good one. Doing morning pages and just doing stream of consciousness. So not everything has to be this like very intentional, positive writing or thinking or whatever, right? You can just do morning pages and do streams of consciousness. This comes from the book, The Artist's Way. And it's a practice a lot of creative people that were changed by that book really swear by every single morning. 3 pages of freehand. I struggle with freehand journaling because my hands, they cramp really easily. But that's just when it's like anything that's in your head, just write it down. Anything. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to write beautiful pages or beautiful words. It can make no sense. You can just write blah, 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 blah. But just get whatever muck is in your brain down on the page, any anxieties, and just kind of release is kind of what it feels like, a brain dump release in the morning. And what you do about that is up to you. And there's many things you can do to counter or engage with your thoughts after the fact. But the goal is not always to be like so clinical, right? If you only have a few minutes, it's a great practice to just kind of release and move on. Or you can, dance and sing again to that upbeat music and be in that meditative state, but through music and being like in that immersive feeling with your headphones or a loudspeaker or whatever it is. And then I always love during any of these routines to like drink a glass of hot water or like make my coffee for the morning or a chai and just enjoy myself in that way. So wanted to give you guys some suggestions for your morning routine, all ones that I've tried and really loved. Also getting sunlight is huge. So I would love when I do like walking in the grass. Sometimes I'll also, I'll start by putting my feet in the pool if you have access to water, but of course you can just walk in the grass and just get sunlight and talk to myself, talk to the trees. Sometimes I laugh because I'm like a massive hippie, but then I saw this thing recently where someone was like, I actually reject you saying that you're a woo-woo or whatever, because it's almost like a dismissal or what's it called, like a minimizing of like very valid Eastern spiritual practices, or right, like spiritual practices or like the practice of an attitude towards life that's just not westernized and clinical and whatever. And so it's like, I'm trying not to like be minimizing towards myself, but yes, I know that I'm very much like, manic pixie dream girl fairy shit, like I'm still doing it even as I said I shouldn't do it, but it just makes me laugh sometimes because like, I'm a hippie, like whatever, but this stuff works, okay? Like as much as you might think I'm crazy, but I saw this video recently that was talking about the things that measure a good life. I'll actually read it to you guys really quick and then no more, but the measures of a good life. And it was basically saying if you find yourself feeling stuck or feeling off and like everything's fine, but I feel weird, right? Then you can kind of assess these 5 core areas on a scale of 1 to 10. And anything that scores lowly is somewhere that you should pay a bit more attention, because that's likely what's causing you to feel kind of out of alignment. And I was watching this video and I don't feel off, but I was still watching the video and I literally scored like 100. Which for me is a big deal. I take scoring very seriously. If you know me personally, I'm so anal with stuff just from when I was a kid. But I scored like 100. Like I was like, oh my God, I do feel happy all the time. And I'm always commenting on that and thinking that to myself and telling my parents that I'm so grateful. And and I was like, how does someone go from like, standing on death's door and like the things that I've seen and the episodes that I've had to feeling like 100% wonderful 99% of the time. And I feel really grateful, but let's walk through it. So the reframe, the 5 pillars of a happy life. I'm looking at this girl's video. I wish I had her if I see it, I'll say it. But basically a flourishing life tends to have 5 things. And this is coming from the what's it called? Acronym PERMA by Seligman 2011 or something. So P is positive emotions, where you're actually noticing what's good, which we've talked about. And we'll get through each one, but let me first start out by laying it out. So PERMA, P, positive emotions, actually noticing what's good. E, engagement. So being absorbed in something and being in flow. R is relationships, so the depth and warmth you have with your close people. M is meaning, so the direction and contributing beyond yourself. And then A is accomplishment, so mastery, growth, and getting better at things, right? And so you're supposed to like rate each pillar from 1 to 10 and then like adjust what's off. And when I go through each one of like, okay, positive emotions, are you noticing what's good in your life? We've talked about like being intentional towards the little things, right? Not every day needs to be a thrill for it to be a thrilling day. You don't have to be thrill seeking, I believe is like the name of the episode if you want to look it up. But actually noticing what's good, like I can be so grateful about the tiniest, littlest things. I put on my story yesterday how I was excited about the fact that when I'm on social media and I notice like the tiniest little like user interface like thing that I don't like maybe, you know, years ago when you'd refresh your page on TikTok by accident while watching something, either the video was just gone forever and you couldn't scroll back up to it and you couldn't find it. And then after some months, they fixed it. And like, even if you refresh your page, if you scroll up, first of all, you couldn't scroll up at all. Then you could scroll up and see the video you just watched. And then if for some reason you couldn't find your video, you could check your watch history, even if you didn't like the video, which I like everything on my For You page, so it's easier. But I was just commenting on that yesterday, how I'm so grateful for little moments like that when I notice a user interface thing on social media and like someone fixes it. It feels like a fairy like read my mind and fixed it a few months later. So noticing what's good in your life, right? Like that's not like someone gave me $1 million or I went shopping today or I got my dream job. Like, no, I'm just really glad that when I refresh on TikTok, I don't lose what I was watching before. So noticing what's good, having positive emotions, even today, what we're talking about with like the morning mindfulness and having those routines and carving out that time to do something you enjoy in the morning and not feeling bad about that time either. Like it's a waste. Like now as I'm giving this podcast episode and it's going overtime or like overtime, right? What's overtime? But I'm not going to let myself feel bad because I have a message on my heart. I wanted to share it and I want to share it with all of you. And this is something that makes me feel good about the rest of my day. When an episode comes to me and I feel like I'm able to articulate what's in my head, and then also it reinforces whatever the idea is because it only unfolds because I'm saying it out loud, because otherwise it's not like it's planned. And so it's good for me. It's good for you, I hope, as the listener. So why would I say because I'm spending, a bit less time on jumping into the day that it's a waste? It's not a waste, right? So noticing what's good, and then engagement, right? E, engagement, being absorbed in something and being in flow. Like now with my podcast episodes, I feel like I get to experience that all the time, or when I'm talking to people. It's really enjoyable, and I find myself being in that flow state. I actually recently kind of dialed back my like ADHD treatment because like with ADHD, if you're already like obsessed with something and like focused and in flow state or whatever, like you don't need any help, okay? Actually, someone has to peel you away from your work. And so I found that I was like too locked into stuff. So I'm always feeling like I'm in a state of flow and like super engaged with what I'm doing. And that makes it really enjoyable for me. And then relationships, so the depth and warmth with your close people. And this is definitely more about quality over quantity, which I've always been a quality over quantity person. But I think I'm always grateful when like at least a few people or even one person in my immediate proximity is someone that is so good to me. And I feel so grateful to finally be on the same, in the same like zip code, let alone the same country or continent as my people, like my family right now. That's something I've not experienced since literally maybe I was like 16 or whatever in high school or less, right? Probably less actually, because my brother went to college. So like I've not experienced that really since I was very, very young and well over a decade ago. And Anima, you need to come back. She's moved to Australia, but I'm just really grateful that the people that care so deeply for me are so close by, and that's just like not something I've gotten to enjoy for a long time. And then beyond that, of course, you have friends here and there, and I'm much more discerning and careful with my friend selection, and I've always been, but there's been some friendship disappointments in years, so I've been extra discerning, and I'm grateful for those lessons because, again, now I feel like the people that I give access to me are vetted a bit more because I'm very much an open person and I can talk to a brick wall. But I just have really been enjoying the relationships I've been making with my family, with new friends, and just meeting new people, and the fact that I've been able to have boundaries while doing so. And then meaning, so direction and contributing beyond yourself. I mean, I feel like everything I do on a day-to-day basis these days has some kind of an impact beyond my immediate experience, but I also think pouring into yourself as well is something that allows you to be a better human to the people around you in your life, whether at work, professionally, with your family, your friends. A better you, a happier you, the same way people say like a happy mom is a good mom, like, a mom that is always drained and like out of sync with herself because she's sacrificing all the time, will be compromised in other ways, right? So you almost have to encourage her to be selfish by saying it's actually a very selfless thing for her to do when she takes those moments to take care of herself. But I think overall, I'm grateful for the direction my life is heading in, and that I'm excited that life is happening at all. So I think every second is a gift because it's not like I could be excited about life before. Even though objectively it was going really well, it's not something I've been able to access, all the time in the past maybe 8 years. So being able to see that and contribute and work on things that allows me to think and make this podcast and think in this kind of way and think and talk and talk, and you know me. I'm really enjoying the meaning that I'm seeing unfold in my own personal and professional life. And then professional, right? The A for accomplishment. So mastery and growth and getting better at things. I feel like professionally, especially, the things I've been able to learn and teach myself and then contribute to others. And it's so crazy because sometimes I do stuff and then I get feedback about it from other people, and I'm just excited to do anything at all, right? But then it kind of clicks that, I'm really operating at a really high level on some of these things, and I'm really mastering my craft. And the more I do these things, the better I get, just in different professional things. But overall, right, just being able to master new skills and kind of add it to my little portfolio career or whatever is really exciting for me. And so I just am grateful to be growing. So anyways, I'm like not trying to flex on anyone, by the way. I say all of this as well because as someone who wasn't happy before, and I haven't really scored myself on this specific PERMA acronym from back when I was, really, 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 really struggling. I'm looking at it now, but anyways, even like back when I was really, really struggling and close to like bye-bye or whatever, I just would have never imagined I'd get to this point of being this happy. And I think that's why I kind of make a point to shout joy from the rooftops, like, it gets better. And it's not just like some platitude someone is saying to you who's never experienced depression. Because of course there's struggle, right? And so many different lenses and perspectives in life. But I think like clinical depression and struggles with mental health is kind of a very unique beast. Like neurodivergence of any kind is its own unique beast. And if someone hasn't gone through that particular experience and they view, things like suicide and suicidal ideation with a lot of judgment or viewing it as selfish or whatever, they just cannot imagine what it's actually like to be the person in that position where you don't want to be here anymore. I think when I was in that position and I was looking around me, everyone else in a similar position, we were just both pushing ourselves to stay because it's like, well, I don't want to be here by myself. The friend was definitely also not doing well. And I didn't really get to meet people who were happy and stable and functional, who also could relate to what I was saying. So it felt like, how much does the advice apply? The same way someone who hears advice from someone who maybe grew up privileged and whatever, if they hear financial advice from them, it doesn't resonate as much as hearing financial advice from someone who's like a quote unquote self-made millionaire, right? Because if they are coming from a currently low financial position and that person did it too, it's more inspiring, like I can do it too. And for me, I definitely felt like I was not hearing advice of survival, or not just survival, but thriving. So that was something I remember thinking too, is like, I don't want to just survive this life for the next God knows how long. I want to enjoy and thrive in life. And if it's not happening, I don't really want to be here to keep going through this. And so to be on the other end and be stable and happy and grateful and fulfilled and noticing every single good second, I just want to remind anyone that might be listening and anyone that I meet who I think can resonate with it, hey, it does genuinely get better, and not just in like a whatever way. It really does get better, and you will survive this episode, and it's a blip in time. And please don't let a blip in time like steal you, because we need you here. We need you here. And yeah. So anyways, that's my big spiel for today. It's so funny because after these episodes, I have to like get the transcript back and be like, what did I say? Because it goes so all over the place. But thanks for spending this time with me this morning. Thought it would be a quick one. It was one of our longer episodes, but I hope the message clicks. I hope you carve out a second, even if it's right now. It doesn't have to be in the morning. Don't be strict, right? Like, there's no wrong way to do it, but just a minute a day to be mindful. But especially in the morning, even if it's before you get out of bed, just a couple seconds to visualize and put that positive intention into your day. It really makes a world of difference. But yeah, thank you for being here. Welcome to Live Lumani and thinking. Thank you for thinking out loud with me. My name is Obie. I hope I see you next time. Also, I think I said it a little bit earlier. I have finally published my book. It's kind of funny because like, it's not like I even did anything special. I just made it available for purchase. It's been written now for years and finished for years. But if you would like to purchase my book, it is in my beacons link in the description box. So wherever it says more of me and there's a link, you can click on that and purchase my book. There's also a digital journal on there as well, which you can purchase both of them together if you like. And, you know, this is my first book, so it's really exciting. And if you do purchase it, you know, thank you so much for supporting me and listening all the way to the end of these episodes. And I'm excited. So yeah, and to describe the book a little bit, it was written as like a stream of consciousness thing, like just different entries I had over the years. Most of the beginning ones are dated and they go back to like December 2022. And over a period of about, I want to say no more than like 3 years, probably closer to 2 years, I just kind of would sometimes feel an urge to write things down, and it felt different than how I usually feel an urge to document my thoughts. And so I put it into a Pages document on my MacBook at the time and just kept writing them there until it turned into this. And so at one point it felt ready, kind of similar to how I make like abstracted art pieces, where it was like you have no idea what the ending point is, but you also know when you reached it. So it was that kind of an experience for me. But a lot of, you know, friends and family have read the book and it's resonated with them. And it's really just capturing little moments in time of my life. But going back to earlier in the episode when I said about my ex who thought everything always had to be sad, I think this book is a perfect example of something that kind of feels a bit profound or emotionally resonant without being devastating at every moment, right? So I am grateful it's more of an uplifting experience, not that you aren't allowed to document anything negative or sad. I don't believe in toxic positivity, but I am kind of happy that, for me, I remember thinking like, that's wrong when he said that when we were younger. And I wasn't even a writer really at the time. I did always love to read. But now that I've written a book, I'm like, see, you can write something good and interesting that resonates with people, that isn't emotionally devastating or whatever it is. But it's just the evolution of my life. And yeah, I don't know if that was a really great job of selling the book. It's a bit hard to explain, and I don't really know that it needs to be explained. But I hope you support me, and if you do, I'm really grateful. And I will bid you adieu and wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys. Mwah.